I never thought that my faith would lead to a police raid that saved the lives of hundreds of children, but this story changed my life forever. I have a belief that, honestly, entrepreneurship and business, that it's not just like a thing that we pursue in this life. I have a belief that it's literally like a calling from God. And so it's interesting because I look back on my journey, like, why in the world did 19 years ago when I kind of started this thing, I was a kid who struggled in school, but then I started learning about marketing, and for some reason there was like this spark where I was interested, and I don't think it's unique to me or to anybody. And I think the people who pursue it, as you start down that path, God gives you more gifts and gives you more ideas and more inspiration. Like, there's so many times where I don't know what the next product's gonna be, the next thing, and I'm looking like, there's the people I'm supposed to serve, what do they need? And as I ask those questions, I start thinking about it and praying about it. Like, that's when the ideas come. I think a lot of times people think faith is this thing of like, you're blindly just walking in the dark and hoping that something's true. I think faith is not knowing where you're going, but like, I'm gonna take that next step, and like the pathway becomes shown to you. I got called by somebody who asked if we'd be interested in helping with an organization called Operation Underground Railroad. At the time, I'd never heard about it. It was a charity that helped save kids from sex slavery. I remember researching it and breaking down and just realizing, like, my life will never be the same. And I wanted to help, but I didn't know how to help, but I wanted to help. So initially I was like, what do I know how to do? Like, I know how to build a funnel. I started putting together the structure, and as it got closer and closer to when I was gonna meet with the founder, I remember I was getting ready, and I had a long drive, 4 or 5 hour drive to go meet with him. And I was sitting there and I was just like, I have everything prepared. I'm gonna show him, hopefully he likes it. And I remember saying a prayer and just saying, hey, I wanna make sure this is the right thing. I wanna make sure this is what you want me to do, and that this is gonna be the thing that helps the most. And in that moment, like, I had this really weird impression, and the impression was like, you should make a documentary for this organization. And I remember at first thinking, like, I don't know how to make a documentary. I've never done that before. And then the next impression came, there's this guy named Nick Nanton who you met 5 years ago. He's won a whole bunch of Emmys for documentaries. He's the one who's gonna do the documentary. And I was like, I met this guy for maybe 30 seconds. I don't know if he knows who I am, but it was so clear, like, you make a documentary, Nick Nanton's gonna do it for you. And so I pull up my phone right then on, again, this is like the leap of faith. I went on Facebook, I found Nick Nanton, I friend requested him, and then I sent him a message. I was like, hey, I just had this really weird thing, and I feel like I'm supposed to make a documentary, and this may sound weird, but like, you're the one who needs to make the video. And a few minutes later, I got a call back from Nick, and he was like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever heard of. He's like, not only am I willing to do the documentary, I'll do it at cost. If you can cover the hard costs of our team and our production, I'll take no profits, no royalties. I want to do this as a gift. And this is all within like a 15-minute window. So then I'm like, okay, scrap all our plans. We're making a documentary. I gotta go pitch Tim Ballard, the founder of this organization, that we're making a documentary. And he was just like, this is what we need. This is the thing. He said, if you look at this problem, he said there's over 2 million children right now in sex slavery around the world. He said right now it's in the darkness. Nobody knows about it. It's hidden. It's like you're in a room and there's all these cockroaches in the dark and you can't see them, but you know that they're all there. He said the only way to get rid of the cockroaches in a dark room is to shine a light in the middle. And he said this can be the thing that we create to shine the light. The making of the documentary was crazy because they went to Haiti to go interview the father of this boy who got taken. That kind of started the whole OUR. Also, it ended with this like an actual capture and arrest. So they're in this van like setting up the sting operation to make sure everything's happening and they're going. And one of the guys, he had this inspiration like, I need you to put a GoPro on my helmet. And they're like, dude, we're about to start. He's like, you need to do this right now. So he grabs and like electrical tape this GoPro to his helmet and click record. And then the whole thing, the rest happens. And in the middle of the rest, the OUR guy was like kind of walking around outside and he looked over and they found the lady, but they hadn't found her brothel. They didn't know where it was at. And he looks over and he sees this door. There's just a door and there's these little kids like peeking out, and then they close it. And he's like, oh my gosh, I think that's the brothel. So he runs over, opens it up, runs in, and he finds a whole bunch of people in the act. These kids, the people get up and they run out. They didn't catch the guys because they weren't prepared for that. And then he comes back out and the guy's just like, I went in there and we didn't have backup, lost the people. And then Tim's looking at the guy's helmet and it's like the camera's there and there's a little flashing red light. They captured all the people in the act, they had the footage, the evidence, all their faces, and they were able to arrest all the people and put them all in jail. How in the world did that dude know 2 minutes ago to get the evidence to strap a GoPro to his helmet? Like, man, a million miracles in the story of how the documentary was made. We showed it at our next Funnel Hacking Live event, and the people in the room who saw the documentary were so touched that they ended up raising over $1 million for Operation Underground Railroad that night, which is enough to save like 400 children from sex slavery. In the last couple of years, it's been seen over 1 million times. I actually had a call with Tim Ballard, the founder of OUR, about a month ago, and he said, to this day, the thing that has driven the most money and helped save the most kids inside this organization is the documentary Operation Toussaint. And it all came from this moment of listening and then having faith that, like, I don't know how to make a documentary, but I'm going to take that step and then we'll see where it goes, and then take the next step. The documentary now has been seen by over 1 million people around the world. They've saved over 4,000 children to date. And if anyone wants to watch that documentary to see how they can help, there's a link down below where they can go to OURfilm.org. I think it's powerful when you start seeing how God's hand is in all of this. I think for any entrepreneur, when you realize that, hey, I've been called to serve a group of people. If I really care about them, if I really want to serve them, if I'm listening with the right ears, the inspiration for what to create, how to serve them, what to do next will just come to you. Business is a calling from God, but the coolest thing for us is that we've been called to change the lives of a group of people. And so when you do that, you literally have this chance to change people's lives, which in exchange